What's up, y'all? I'm here today to talk to you about soulmates. I get tons of questions from y'all about soulmates, and the main questions I get are, first of all, is there such thing as a soulmate? And essentially, how do you know if you found your soulmate? So, I'm going to address these questions today. I hope you're having the most magnificent Tuesday. I am out on my trampoline, taking a little break from the computer screen. And yeah, just really enjoying this moment outside. The birds are just coming back out after a midday rain, so it's really beautiful. So, soulmates. First question I get a lot is, do you believe in soulmates? Do soulmates exist? So this is what I'll say about soulmates. I do believe in soulmates, depending on your definition of a soulmate. So for me, a soulmate is essentially someone whose soul and soul mission is aligned with mine in a way that we could come together and be more powerful as a force than alone. Now, do I believe that there's only one soulmate for every person? No, that I do not believe. I believe that there's actually multiple people in the world that each of us can connect with, and that would represent like a soulmate for us. I think that, I think there's multiple people, and I do think it's rare to find that person because, yes, there are 7 billion people in the world, but how many people do I actually come in contact with in my life, right? So maybe there's 50 potential soulmates for me out there, but maybe I only ever come in contact with 3 of them. So, because I probably won't leave this lifetime having had personally met all 7 billion people that have existed on this earth. So while I do believe there's multiple soulmates or people that each of us could make a long-term commitment with, I do think it's rare to actually connect with those people. So the next question I often get is, how do I know if I found my soulmate? So again, my belief is that there's not just one soulmate out there for you, there's multiple. So just that belief right there takes off so much of the pressure, right? It can feel like a really limiting and or just torturous story to believe there's one soulmate out there and that's it. I have one chance to make it work with the one person. And then if you've ever had the situation of letting go of a love and later, after some reflection, realizing, you know what, I could have made it work with that person, you might start to think, oh my God, I've lost my only chance at true love. So just take a breath, sister. Breathe into the idea that there are actually many people out there that could be your soulmate, could be your long-term match in a very beautiful, mutual, healthy, sexy, thriving way. Now, the other thing I will say is this. So how do I know if I've met my soulmate? For me personally, I believe that I can recognize that soulmate quality in someone when I feel that deep initial connection. So in my experience, you might not always feel the connection right away. So for instance, my lover, my amazing partner, Warren, I knew him for 6 years before we actually felt a romantic connection. And I believe that's because we were at not the right places in our growth journeys to come together when we initially met. And so it took 6 years of friendship and both of us continuing at our own speeds until we got to this place where we're at the right level to come together. But there's this connection between us. It goes beyond outside factors and it goes beyond mutual activities, if that makes sense. So when I talk to a friend or a client or something, I'll often ask someone, how many times in your life do you feel that you have had that deep, unexplainable connection with someone? And usually the answer I get is 1 or 2 times. And I've asked people from ages 25 to 55. So what that tells me is these connections are rare, but they are noticeable. So it's really hard for me to describe it in a very practical, like detailed way. But what I can say is that when you have that deep connection with someone, you look into their eyes and you feel like your souls met before this lifetime even. That deep, like, I don't know why, but I feel so connected to you feeling with someone that it's the only way I can describe it is like this deep, unexplainable connection. To me, that connection tells me that, ooh, I have a potential soulmate here. This is a potential soulmate. And so I actually think a lot of people currently are in relationships where there never was that deep connection. And so this could be people who got together because they were high school sweethearts. You know, in high school, I think most people are less connected to themselves. So we're dating based on social status, or you're cute, or we have X amount of classes together, maybe more so than like a deep connection. So this could be people who married their high school sweetheart, someone who, I think about some relationships, like back in college, a lot of my relationships formed because we had the same friend group, and so we'd be drinking together every weekend and be getting flirty together every weekend, and then maybe one weekend we kissed or hooked up, and then I was like, well, should we just make this a relationship? So that's fine, that's fun, but that might be an example of a relationship that wasn't built on the basis of this deep, unexplainable connection. And so if you have that, if you are in a partnership and you're like, yes, that deep, unexplainable connection, I have that, I feel it, and maybe you're facing some challenges which are inevitable in long-term relationship, I just want you to know that you have something very special, and what you have doesn't come around all the time. And so in saying that, I don't wish to instill the idea that you should start abandoning what you need or not speaking your mind in order to preserve this relationship. But rather, as you go through those challenges and as you move through those harder times, just hold in your heart or hold in your mind that remembrance, that appreciation for this special, deep connection you have. And remember, like, oh yeah, this is a rare gift. This is a rare treat. I shall honor this and harbor this and think, how can I continue to rise up to meet the amazing potential of this unexplainable connection, the soulmateship? So I hope that this little video has given you some clarity on soulmates and deep connections and how to identify them. And oh, nice, there's a storm right above my head. It just started. This is the perfect time to sign off and go inside. I love you guys. I hope this was helpful. Please drop any comments you have below or any questions. Keep the conversation going if you want to follow up or share your own experience. I'd love to hear from you. I'll be keeping an eye on those comments. Otherwise, I wish you the most blessed and beautiful Tuesday. I fucking love you guys, truly, deeply. I'll catch you in the next video.